Alright, today I want to talk about Paul's quad and interstellar travel. I think he's been sitting on one decent on this for a long time. Either for like a year or two. And actually, this quad video isn't even his best run for ECFA, because this run is like 47 whites, and his best run for ECFA is 32 whites with 2 excellence, I think. So, either way, it's still really cool to see this quadded, so I wanted to talk about it. But I also wanted to pause right now to say that if you're not subscribed to Paul on YouTube or following him on Twitter, you should do that now. And the reason is that if you're looking to get better, you should be watching other people's videos. For example, like when I started developing my form to do more crossovers, I didn't just try to bang it out and figure out how to do it myself. I studied Paul DDR videos like a lot to see, because he has like immaculate crossover form. So I just watched his videos and tried to understand how his body was moving, and I tried to adapt that into my own form. And if you're a developing player, especially with how many video resources there are nowadays, like I really don't believe in like originality. People are out there that are better than you. There are people out there that are better than me. And it's worthwhile to take some time to see what they're doing and try to adapt it for yourself and like understand what skill sets are they good at and how are they executing it. How can I do it for myself? So once you start getting better at the game, you can start interpreting things your own way and find out what skill sets you're really good at. But until then, like using videos as a reference guide for improvement is really, really helpful. So for now, what I want to do is I'm going to just talk through the video first. I'm just going to let it run once, and I'll make my comments and advice after the fact. The way this chart is broken up is that the first 25%, even though it's not the hardest, is actually really just the most technical, and it's really not that bad at all. The ending is hard just because there's a lot of stream and some bursts, but from a technicality, like a tech perspective, it's really not that technical. It's just exhausting. So looking at this intro, it's really just foot switch into double step, anchor, and crossover. And it does that a couple more times. So here's the foot switch, double step, anchor, crossover. That's it. Foot switch, double step. Quick cross under here, and then you're all ready to a break. There are some crossovers in here that are a little slower, either 8th note crossovers or it'll be 16th notes that start crossover. In a break, as long as you know that they're coming up, these are double steppable. It's fine. I sometimes do the crossovers, I sometimes do the double steps. You know, choose your own adventure. But this is really a lot of, I call it like score buffering. It's a lot of easy opportunity for awesomes, or a lot of opportunity for masterfuls, sorry. So then the stream starts here, and this is where a majority of your points are going to come from, because it's all stream for like the last half of the song. And there's a lot of notes. Dude, he's so relaxed on these drills. Really, really easy on those crossovers. There's a lateral coming up that he actually does. I always double step this upcoming. I double step that and he does the turn. I do this turn and then I also double step this lateral, but he does that turn as well. And just super relaxed. This burst is really hard because there's a turn that comes right after. Oh my god. And there's a lot of turns for the very last run. Seeing that quad is crazy because I remember having to work really, really hard just to get a 99 on it. And I ended up with like 20 excellence. I think I challenged Leon to it and he got like in the teens. And I'm pretty sure he's like SDE'd it by now. But anyways, let's talk more about like my advice and comments on this chart. As far as me just loving interstellar travel, it's like in my top 5 favorite charts to play of all time, at least so far. And I think it's because I've always been a stamina player at heart. But I've also really appreciated being well-rounded, like, and that's why I care about playing tech. That's why I care about having good timing. And I feel like interstellar travel has been like that perfect blend for me. I don't really feel like I'm sacrificing anything on the tech side or on the stamina side, especially if I'm going for timing. So it's really just like the best of both worlds for me, and it's just like, it's so euphoric to play and just like to just let my body go and just like, you know, adrenaline pumping, blood pumping, just bust it out. Seriously, so much fun to play. As far as advice for people playing this, take the time to learn the foot switch and double step stuff in the beginning here. It's really not that bad. It's as technical as it gets, and there are like 10s that are more technical than this. So, but it's just one of those things where if you don't know the tech, then you're gonna pick up awesomes or worse, something else. So yeah, take the time. And then also with this break here, hopefully by the time you're getting to 14s, you should be trying to develop a form where you're able to get into that 15 millisecond window with a relaxed form. If you're using a form where you have to like be really aggressive about every single step to get into the 15 ms window, like it's gonna be a really tough time, because this break should be like a recovery period for you leading up to the stream in the back half. That's also why it's useful to know, like, you know, there's like a crossover coming up here, right? And you know, you don't want to give away judgments other than masterfuls if you can help it. That's here. And then as far as like the ending stream goes, I would say don't be afraid of this chart. Don't be afraid to play this chart, and just play this to build the stamina, even if you don't think you're gonna FA pass it, and even if you know you're not gonna FA pass it. A majority of the points in the song are just pure stream. Like there's this crossover coming up. But you know, the crossover, if you flub it, as long as you maintain this good rhythm, you know, as long as you keep that rhythm, do the crossover, even if you miss the crossover portion, as long as you have a good 16th note rhythm, you could still get masterfuls or awesomes on the other notes. So it's really all about like that rhythmic control and keeping that 16th note going no matter what the pattern is. And that's where a majority of your points are going to come from. So it's worthwhile you can either play this chart a lot, or if you want to cut to the chase and find a chart that doesn't have tech in the first half and just cut straight to something that has 100 BPM streams, you can just play stamina content. And there's plenty of stamina content out there, especially like in the 180 BPM range. Just know that if you're trying to get better at 180 BPM in the context of stamina, or in the context of tech, sorry, you should be trying to go for, you know, that 15 ms window as much as you can. Yeah, I would say if you're approaching new 14s, just don't be afraid of this chart. Don't be afraid of this. Don't be afraid of good tech, and don't be afraid of Cannonball. I think there are some other like straightforward, like, you know, the Stam FA 13 14s. But the way I think about it is that streams are 4-panel gameplay at its like core fundamentals. There's no turns, no brackets, none of that, right? So it's really helpful to play these charts or other stamina charts to develop those fundamentals. Man, as far as like other things though, like for these crossovers that are coming up, the stream starts here, right? When the stream starts, you should not worry about the crossover until it gets close. So start playing this stream as if it's just gonna stream forever with no turns. You know, don't even worry about it until this crossover is in context and on screen. And then once you've done the crossover and you've resolved, go back to just facing forward, having good stream form, facing forward. Oh man, with these drills, don't step too hard. It's really weird. You need to put more energy into playing the drill, but you don't want to like slam into the panels. You want to think of it as more energy into the motion, but keep your step height low, because the higher you step, the harder it is to play drills that fast. I mean, 180, 24th notes, it's times 1.5. These bursts are technically the same as 270 BPM 16th notes. So yeah, really just put a lot of energy into it, but also relax. Yeah, and it's really only one turn per phrase here. Another drill here. This coming turn here, I double step. I'm telling you, man, it's really, the way that it's patterned is really easy to double step, but if you do the turn, just know that this is a full lateral, so this is being hit with your left foot, and this with your heel on your right foot, so it's pretty sharp. If you just decide to go for the turn, just be wary of that. This turn, I've been caught off guard by a lot. It's a left arrow cross under here, and it's actually on the 16th note. So if it's something where you're trying to place it, just know that it's not on any downbeat or upbeat. It's on the 16th note. Same with this lateral here. Same situation as the other lateral I talked about, but now facing the opposite direction. This is hitting with this first note's on your right heel. This one's on your left toe. I also just prefer to double step it. It's a very nice double step pattern. There's another burst come up here. Just know that when you see this last burst, you need to prep your body to play a turn pretty close after. Because there's a turn that comes right after there. First turn. My last thing I keep note of is this. When I play this 8th note here, I'm hitting this down arrow. I'm already starting to rotate my body because I know that there's a turn coming up. Yeah, so I gotta find the right spot to pause here. Because this is being hit with your right foot. The next time your right foot hits a note is here, right? So what I don't want to do is I don't want to hit my right foot here, keep my right foot planted on the right arrow all the way until I hit this down arrow. I kind of talked about this in my video where I talked about Zephyr, like crossover fundamentals, right? Your right foot needs to travel from the right arrow to crossed over on the left arrow. The best way that you're going to set yourself up for success on this is if you use this entire time from this note all the way to this note for your foot to travel over. That's your best chance of success. If you keep your right foot planted here all the way until you hit this down arrow, now you're forced to get your right foot to go from the right arrow to the left arrow in a 16th notes amount of time. And that's just really hard. So definitely know ahead of time that when you get to the end of the song, that this 8th note is going to be followed by a left arrow crossover right after. Know that's coming ahead of time and just start moving your right foot right away. But yeah, I think the moral of the story on this video is there obviously are a lot of small, like minute things to get good at in terms of like the burst control and the crossovers, but a majority of your notes, a majority of your points in terms of getting an FA pass on this is just pure stream. So even if you can't do the burst, even if you can't do the crossovers, if you can develop a really good stamina FA form for just playing stream fundamentally, like you might actually scrape by with an FA pass on this. You might surprise yourself. Yeah, we did it. Frank is just chilling. Frank's just enjoying the show. Frank's a little unimpressed, actually. I think Frank sees that it's not even your #1 ECFA song. It's not even your best run. This is minus 180 points. Frank is just... he's seen better. That's all I have to say. If you're, you know, breaking into 14s, definitely give this one a shot. Do it for me. Alright, thanks guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.